check this out. Got a new MacBook Pro that I used my rewards for the credit cards for the business to buy, so it was really cool. Not only that, I also got 3% discount because I used an Apple card, and I got like 1% cash back. So I'm about to do like a little unboxing. So the reason why I wanted this MacBook Pro is so that I could possibly do better at uploading videos, because when I leave here, you know, I don't usually work on videos, but maybe when I have this, I could kind of do this when there's nothing going on at my house, and I could take it back to work. So I think I'm gonna give that a shot. So anyway, I'm just gonna do a quick unboxing. I got a few upgrades when I was building this. I added some RAM and some gigs. Don't know if that's what you guys call it. Anyway, and I also had Final Cut Pro pre-installed and Logic Pro, which is the music app. So I'm really excited about that. So let's see. So here it is. Hey guys, so this shelf right here holds all of the customers' lights that didn't rehang them last year or the year before. So there's 30 right here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unroll them, make sure they work, and separate each one as a set. So for instance, there's Dean Smith right there, and it looks like it's red, white, and green. I'm gonna count them. I may have it on file. Make sure they all work, and then bag those up and reuse those for a house that's renting with the same amount of bulbs. So I'm gonna try and do that with all of them. That should save me quite a bit of money. And again, I'm only doing that for the rental customers. I'm not gonna call these people and try and resell them again this year. If they didn't do it last year or the year before, I'm just kind of like cutting ties with them as far as, you know, soliciting or whatever. If they want to call, they're gonna have to pay at the new bulb rate. So anyway, that's what I'll be doing this week, and I hope to have these done by as early as possible. I've got somebody in the office gonna help me today. Okay, so guys, I just unbulbed the top shelf of houses that were on that rack there, and roughly I counted about 750 bulbs. So if you're counting them as like $1 each, that's about $750 in savings on 6 houses. That's awesome. So I get asked a lot, what are the benefits of renting as opposed to purchasing? This is one of the benefits, but I will say that you don't necessarily see this saving up front. You normally have to wait a few years while you get an inventory of houses that, especially if you're starting out, houses that have you hang the lights 1 year as a rental per option, and then they don't want to do it the following year. Once you have quite a bit, like I do, have about 40 or so that I have on my shelf that don't want me to rehang their lights, I'm going to recycle them and save all this money. So hopefully I can reuse all of these. Now, one of the things that you may think of when you first start out, like I did, was, oh, well, cool. I'll just throw these in with my new ones and I'll just grow my inventory, right? The problem is Christmas light bulbs don't really do well from year to year with new bulbs. The manufacturers typically have new technology, so the bulbs always look a little bit different every year. Sometimes just the wear and tear from one season or 2 or 3. Some of these houses, just because they didn't get it this year, they don't want it this year. Some of these I've hung for 4 years while they lived at that house. And so some of these bulbs are fairly old, so if you mix those with new ones on the same property, you're going to notice a difference. Now, there may be a house where, let's say I'm going to rehang this one, it's got 66 bulbs, but let's say the new house that I'm going to use these bulbs at had 76 bulbs, so 10 more. I will use these since I'm only adding 10 bulbs, and I'm going to try to strategically add those new bulbs on the corners, maybe on the peaks, maybe behind a tree or bush, somewhere where it's harder to see. Obviously the peak's not hard to see, but it may be brighter, and that'll be a nice place for new bulbs. But anyway, they don't fare well with new bulbs. So, but if you're gonna add up to 10 bulbs on a front facing house, that'd probably be the limit where I would do, and I wouldn't put them right next to each other. I'd try and spread them out. Maybe even only 5, but no more than 10. But on 199, I mean, you can probably get away with 10, maybe even 15. But I wouldn't add too many more to that. But yeah, so on this 199 foot amount of bulbs that I have here, I won't necessarily wait for a house that calls me that wants to rent the lights that has 199 feet. I would use this on 175 feet or even 210 feet. Or if I'm in a jam at the end of this season, I would use this. If I had to use only 100 feet, I'd split it and save 100 bulbs and use that 100 for another house that has about 100 feet. So I don't know, that's the beauty of renting. And hopefully that will help you in your decision whether or not you want to do rentals. I have friends that only do purchasing options, and they're making great money. With renting, I still, when I first started out, even when I offered renting, I still charged enough to the customer that, so I paid for my materials and I paid myself and my workers to hang those lights. Now, obviously it's not as much as it would have been if they would have purchased the cost. I basically made enough to buy the materials only, basically no margins off of the products that first year, and I charged a little bit more. So the faster I got, so if let's say for instance 66 bulbs, I charged the customer enough for 66 bulbs plus enough for maybe 2 hours worth of labor. So if we got it done in 1 hour, we still made a little bit of money, but we charged them way less because they only basically paid for wholesale price, what I paid for basically on the bulbs, plus a little bit, plus the labor. So I still made some money. I still didn't necessarily pay out of pocket for my products, but over time, once you build up an inventory, now I've got these, and this is just one little shelf. I think there was 4 or 5 shelves on that. And that's going to be quite a bit of bulbs. So that's where you see the benefit, is when you start getting, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50 houses that aren't rehanging. You got to do this early though. Start unbulbing these as early as possible. Like right now, it's August 28th. So you want to get these ready to go so that when you're doing estimates and you're just crazy running around measuring houses and quoting and giving customers prices, you want to have these ready to go, so that, because when you're starting installing, I don't know about you, but I don't have time to do this. So I've been trying to do a few a day, just so that by the time October comes where I'm installing my first house, I don't have to worry about this. And if I get a house that has 94 up to 94 bulbs, somewhere around there, I'll have this ready to go, and we can save money hanging those rental bulbs. Now, I won't put these rental bulbs on a new purchased install. They get brand new stuff because they're purchasing it and they have the option of keeping it and holding on to it and even keeping it up on the house all year. So they won't get these rentals, but if a customer chooses the rental option, they're most likely going to start getting the recycled batches. Now, I wanted to point out that I do not reuse the strands. So when I take the bulbs off of rental property, I just chuck the strand. I do keep the end caps. I do keep these. And I reuse those because those are just awesome. Probably my favorite Christmas light invention, to be honest with you. Anyway, hope this helps. It's Christmas time. Actually, not really. We've got a full month before I'm really going to be pushing Christmas lights, but I'm making sure that we're going to be stocked with equipment, have all the supplies we're going to need, contact all the people that have hung lights in the past, whether or not they're going to rehang them this year. Those people I do bug a little bit because I kind of put some urgency on them and let them know that I really do need to know, because we do have your bulbs in a strand, and so let me know, or I'm going to reuse them, and then you're going to have to pay regular new customer price again if you decide later that you want Christmas lights. So let me know now. Anyway, all right guys, talk to you later. You may think this is hilarious, but I sent out a blast for Christmas light installs. A reminder for the early bird special for people to sign up to get put on the list, and somebody responded saying I forgot to take the lights down, and you know, they said they want them down. They don't want to redo it this year, so that's what I'm doing now. So to make this extension, all you need is looks like a 3/4 inch elbow and PVC. Put it like that. You don't even need glue, and you're good to go.